Namaskar. So, this audio is about my journey, which began in 2015. Actually, it began in 2010 when I first came across the book written by Dr. Brian Weiss, Many Masters, Many Lives. And that opened up my mind towards the spiritual concepts like past life. However, I was very busy with my medical career that I did not have the time to pursue it any further. In 2014, just 2 months after I opened my dream clinic, I was driving one day and at a signal, it was in the morning time. After having a very good workout session at the gym, my mind was very calm and still. And I was at the signal, I heard a very distinct voice in my head which said that I was heading on the wrong direction. That my life purpose was not to pursue commercial dreams. I was baffled. I wondered, why would I hear something like this? Deep down, I knew that what I had heard was true. However, the mind was resisting because, you see, the clinic was just opened. And like everybody else, I was chasing a materialistic dream for name, fame, and recognition. Of course, service was the primary motive, but then I had a commercial center which could not be run on charity. I had huge overheads, so I had to charge. So with that, my practice began full-fledged. I was doing very well, but deep down, this thing kept nagging. And then I wanted to explore what it might be like. And the only spiritual concept at that point in time I knew was past life. So I thought maybe this is something to do with the past life. I sought a past life regression therapist who incidentally happened to be very close to my clinic. And a city like Bangalore, we always look for distances because of the overwhelming traffic. But this therapist office was just about 10 or 15 minutes away from my clinic. So my mind could not even find an excuse not to go. And I decided to go to him. I was like, this is it, I have to go because he's so close. And his name was the first name which showed up in Google search. Please pay attention to the details so that you understand how synchronicity works. How when you are destined to be, then everything just starts falling in place. So I went to him for a past life regression. He introduced me to soul contracts and a little bit about the astral world. It was so fascinating. And I realized that nothing had ever interested me before like what this man was talking about. He did a past life regression. However, I believe that first past life regression was not correct. It was just mere imagination. Nothing of that was right. But at least I had an experience, which was good, and that made me very curious to learn further. My therapist also suggested that I would be an Indigo Soul. Now, these are all labels, of course, which I realized later. But I was intrigued as to what is an Indigo Soul. And he explained to me a little bit. When I came back to my clinic, I started Googling, and then my mind opened up to higher dimensions and extraterrestrial beings and concepts like indigo souls, rainbow souls, and such things, which We'll take it up some other time, which is not really very important. It is just for your knowledge sake. So thereon I started exploring more things and it was interesting. My mind started to open up. I realized that this worldly, earthly existence is not the only existence, that there is so much more beyond to earth. And then I began to read books by Dolores Cannon, who was a very renowned hypnotherapist, and she's done profound work and published many books. She's no more with us. She was the first one to, probably I think, she was the first one to talk about earth ascension because she got a lot of information through her subjects. So I started exploring all these things. Meanwhile, I kept Natesh in the loop and told him that my therapist, his name is Natesh, I told him that whenever hypnotherapy course was being conducted in Bangalore, I would definitely want to attend it. And he promised that he would keep me posted. And true to his word, he did inform me that a course was being conducted in April-May 2015. So I was super excited and I joined it up. Mostly it was because it offered me understanding of the subconscious mind, which I thought will help me in helping my patients who suffered from chronic skin conditions, who had emotional, mental issues deeply buried in their subconscious. And along with traditional allopathy treatment, I could also help them through hypnotherapy. And this was my prime motivating factor. So this was in April-May month. But in the month of Jan 2015 itself, I began to meditate because I was going through so much of tension in my life. I was going through so much of stress in my life that I thought that I have to meditate just to calm my mind so that I could focus on my work. There were a lot of family related problems going on which disturbed me so much. I had no spiritual inclination at that point of time. I had no desire to pursue spirituality as such. I did not even know that meditation was the way to go about it. All that I thought meditation was to help you calm your mind and to relax. So from the first time itself when I began to meditate, I would go very deep. And then again, I didn't realize that this was not a usual thing, that people struggle with a lot of thoughts when they sit for meditation. And right from the first time, I would go into deep meditation for half an hour, sometimes even longer. And it was such bliss, it was so beautiful. And I really began to enjoy, and meditation became a drug for me. It became an addiction for me. I would look forward to the time when I would just leave everything, stop everything and meditate. In the very start of my meditation, I would see Lord Shiva's image. And that used to baffle me, that why do I see his image? Because I had nothing to do with Lord Shiv, at least not consciously. The image would just come and then go, it would be random. On 7th Feb 2015, a little after a month, I had a experience which is close to near-death experience. And this was a profound experience which made me a firm believer in a higher power which we do not understand, which we are not aware of. As usual, I was meditating and it was night time. I was by myself. I suddenly saw a bright light which was so beautiful, and I realized that I was a part of that light, that I belonged to that light, that the portion that is there in this body, in the current body, is actually a part of that light, and I wanted to merge back. And tears started rolling out from my eyes, and there were overwhelming emotions, longing, such deep longing I'd never ever felt for anything or anyone ever before. It was like a child who was separated from the mother, and I wanted to leave my body that very moment and be with the light. And then I heard this firm voice speak to me, which was a first actual guidance, which said, "Not as yet. There is a lot of work to be done. In time to come, you will be guiding and inspiring many people." And then I was like, what inspiring, what guiding? I was told, and then the voice said, just continue to meditate and the guidance will come to you as and when you need it. And that was it. I didn't hear anything after that. And I opened my eyes and I was numbed with the experience. It was really something. Even today, when I think about it, I feel overwhelmed. For a long time, I didn't hear that voice again. I can't tell you how much I longed to hear that voice, to receive the guidance, to understand more. What is it that I'm here for? I was given a specific word, mission, that you are here on a mission to guide and inspire others. So I was very intrigued with this guidance. I had no idea how would I go about it, what would I teach, what is it. For some time I assumed that probably I will be empowering women to be successful entrepreneurs because I had set up my clinic and it was doing well. But then that wasn't the case. What I am doing now is what the mission is. And this understanding, this knowledge came much later. It wasn't given to me on a platter right away. In the month of March 2015, I spontaneously turned into a vegetarian. It was very spontaneous. I just couldn't eat chicken one fine day. And after that, I've never had it. I don't have any cravings, nothing. I believe because of my meditation, my frequency had risen. And because of that, I couldn't take non-veg anymore. Then I did my hypnotherapy course in April-May month, which really opened up my subconscious mind, and it helped me to go deeper into meditations using the hypnotherapy techniques. A lot of things surfaced up during this 1 month of hypnotherapy. Many more aspects came up. I can't go into the details or this audio is never going to end. But they were again, everything was very overwhelming because I was totally new, not expecting any of this. And I did not have a guru in the physical body to guide me. All the guidance that kept coming to me, which was perfect, was all through channeled. It all came to me in the state of meditation. Things would just happen. It was very synchronized in nature. So during the hypnotherapy course, it further got confirmed that yes, my mission is to teach others. After that, I realized that I was born with certain gifts. You may call them as siddhis, but I resisted to accept them. I resisted to acknowledge them. There were healing abilities. There were some things else also, which I cannot share for reason best known to me and best for you also. I do not use any of those powers because I do not want to, because they are there. I acknowledge them now unless and until it is really needed to help someone, I do not resort to them. There are some very powerful abilities which I did use to help many people back then, but then now I don't, because I use my spiritual energy for my own self-growth and sadhana. So thereon, I started doing more sadhana, started doing japa, started doing yoga asanas, pranayam, began to read texts. I was searching for a guru frantically. I tried many different people, but each time I got dismayed because I realized that I already knew more than them, or they were not of my level, or they were just after money, which is the case unfortunately nowadays. In the name of Guru Dakshina, they fleece. It's become a fashion. And now they have coined a new term, energy exchange, which I also fell for some time, and I believe that that was the right thing. But that is all commercialization. So I could not get a guru in the physical body, though I tried many different people. But the guidance was always there with me. In June 2015, my Kundalini suddenly got activated and it ascended. It came all the way up, but then it fell also. It fell at the level of Anahata or heart chakra, where I did have a block. But because it had ascended too fast, I went through a lot of problems, emotional issues, a lot of anger, mental issues, a lot of body heat was generated. At the same time, the abilities were coming forth, a lot of knowledge and wisdom. I was just realizing it. I was reading spiritual texts and I was able to understand them way better than I could understand my own medical texts. It was very interesting because I come from a Muslim background. I have never been given any Hindu teachings or spiritual teachings ever. All that I had ever studied was modern medical science and the regular school teachings. Whatever religious teachings I had received were all Islamic in nature, which never made sense to me. So my thirst for knowledge just kept increasing, and I kept reading more and more. And as I kept reading more, as I kept seeking more, my interest in my practice began to reduce. It became difficult for me to go back to work, but I would force myself because it was my clinic. I just couldn't put down my papers and walk out. I had invested a good amount of money and I had a lot of patients coming in, a lot of clients coming in, and it was doing well. So I was in a difficult situation where I was needed to take care of my clinic, but my mind, my heart was into seeking. Because I was seeking the truth. I wanted to know, who am I? How come I have these abilities? From where do these powers come? What is this mission? How will I go about it? I don't know anything myself. What am I going to teach? I knew by then for sure that there was something very important that I have come here to accomplish. And running my clinic was a distraction, that I have deviated from my life plan. And this was not the case. And if I was on the wrong life path, then I had to come back, realign myself on what I was meant to do. So this is where the conflict began. In November 2015, my article on intolerance went hugely viral, which drawn thousands of people at a time to me. I believe this incident happened so as to give me that confidence, or as an evidence from the higher powers, that yes, there is a mission that I have to accomplish. But you see, what drawn them towards me was a social political post. And back then, I used to write a lot on politics and social causes. And people loved it. But then deep within, I wasn't really very happy about it. I knew that I wasn't doing the right thing. Because in between, whenever I would write on spiritual things, the attention of the people would be less on those matters. So here became the struggle with the ego, which likes to get appreciated. And the appreciation came mostly from political posts, not from spiritual posts. But the inner power, the inner spiritual power was so great that eventually the ego had to surrender and lie low. And so sometime in November 2016, I shut out Facebook and I simply quit. I realized that I cannot go on like this with social media, that I had to take a break, I had to get over this, I had to work on myself. And then perhaps I would come back again if needed. So November 2016 is the time when I withdrew even from social media. And I was only seeking and taking care of my clinic. Sometime mid of 2017, I decided that I will not be able to continue running my clinic and that I had to quit my practice. Now, the reason why I decided to quit my practice were two. One was my patients were not ready to listen to what I had to offer them apart from allopathy. I would try to convince my patients to take hypnotherapy, to help themselves, but they were afraid, or they were skeptical, doubtful, closed-minded, narrow-minded, whatever you want to call it, but they were reluctant. And they were very happy with the prescription, but I wasn't happy giving them the prescription. See, it was easy money for me. It just takes 2 minutes for a prescription to be generated. The moment a patient would show his skin to me, I knew what the condition was, I knew what the prescription would be, and that is how mechanical we become, even as doctors. It is no brainer. After some time of practice, even a medical practice almost becomes mechanical. For me, at least, it had. Many times patient would enter, I would look at their skin and I knew what their concern was. So there was no challenge in it, and there was a lot of easy, good money. I had imported lasers, very good, powerful lasers. A treatment would just take about 10-15 minutes. I would easily charge 6,000 to 7,000 rupees. Now, there was not high profit in that because I had high overheads also, salaries, rents. But the income was growing. And I knew that if I continued, I would make a lot of good money. And not just that, word of mouth, I was becoming famous, at least in my part of the city. And people even from other places had begun to come, like from Mysore. I even had patients from Hyderabad. So you see, the ego was getting hugely satisfied, which is what it wants, right? All materialistic, worldly things were coming easily to me, and this was my test as well. Would I resist it? And I did start getting detached. The detachment just grew stronger and stronger. None of these external gratifications actually get me inner content. So in 2017, mid of 2017, I decided I couldn't continue. But my challenge was, how would I come out of this? Because I had so many patients, so many clients who were regularly visiting me. It is not possible to come out of a practice once you're established and you have your own clinic. November 2017, my sister passed away, because of which I was very emotionally broken and my attention diverted completely towards my family. And that's when the universe intervened. And one of my staff members, who was my most trusted, she betrayed. I will not go into the details of how she betrayed, but she played such games to fill her own pocket that it literally destroyed my practice within some months and made it very easy for me to quit. So I sold my clinic at a throwaway price and I left eventually. I was at peace. I knew that I had to serve a greater role, but I was clueless. How would I serve a greater role? I was still not equipped with the knowledge, with the wisdom, with the direction. But I knew that it will be done. However, many a times the mind would doubt, because it is a nature of the mind to ask questions, and when it doesn't get clarity, then it is natural to doubt. All of the spiritual experience were very heightened during that time. Seeing numbers, seeing random quotes, getting messages. A lot of people were healing through me. And so I just began to be waiting. I surrendered finally and to the universe, to the higher powers. And I started to be in solitude, to live in silence by myself. See, it's only in these moments of absolute stillness and silence when you connect with your inner self, when you connect with the gurus, with the enlightened beings, and the wisdom comes to you. When the mind is very active, then the connection is minimum, it is severed. In 2019, I received my first guidance, not first guidance, but first guidance related to 2020. Okay, let it put that way. So in 2019, I was given the guidance. I again asked, okay, what is it? Because I knew that something was coming ahead closer. Intuitively, I knew it. So I was given the guidance that 2020 onwards, there will come a huge shift in humanity, and this will continue for the next 10 years till 2030. And my role, active role in the world for which I have specifically come, begins 2020 onwards. Trust me, I had no clue. I wasn't told that COVID, a virus, will come out. And I will come on social media platform on Facebook and I will be doing live meditation or sharing so much of teachings. I didn't get the details. I've never got the details. Things have just happened. I have got a heads up of what is coming ahead, but it is devoid of details. The details are left for me to figure out, or as the time comes, then things begin to surface up in more detail. The last guru that I sought after was Yogiva, whose name I even posted on Facebook because I was so desperate to have a guru's protection and guidance. But then I realized that he was not authentic. 1.5 months after following his teachings, or not following his teachings, more like, because he would just teach from textbooks. He did not have any knowledge of his own. I will not talk more about it. The lesser talk, the better it is. But within 1.5 months, I realized that I had again fallen into the trap of a wrong person. And so I left him as well. After that, I just stopped seeking a guru, because I had realized by then that I am perhaps not meant to have a guru in the physical body to guide me. because I already received so much of knowledge just through my meditation. I know how to do advanced Kriya. Nobody ever taught me. I was just doing it on my own. It's later I realized that these were actually Kriya techniques. You might wonder that how come, what is so special about her that she gets all this? So you see, I cannot tell you further details, but I can give you a clue to understanding. And this also serves as a kind of an evidence. We all believe in Vedic astrology, right? It is a part of our Vedas, and we do know that it is meaningful. That's a different story that a lot of astrologers nowadays are incapable of giving the right prediction because they do not have the spiritual wisdom. So the information does not come to them. This is divinely guided information, and one has to be vibrating high to that higher frequency to even get the prediction. Otherwise, it will simply not come. A lot of astrologers nowadays, they deal astrology in a very systematic manner. But that is not how it works. Yes, there is a systematic approach to Vedic astrology, but more than that, it is the intuitive inherent power of the astrologer which helps him see things, foresee things before they are going to happen. And for that, divine grace is needed. So just to give you an understanding, we all know that Pisces is the last zodiac sign, is the 12th sign. And everyone knows that it is considered as the most spiritual sign. We have 12 houses in a birth chart. The last house is ruled by the Pisces sign, and the ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. In my birth chart, my rising ascendant is Pisces, and I have 4 planets in the sign of Pisces: Ketu, Sun, Mercury, Venus. So you see, there is heavy energy in the sign of Pisces in my birth chart. And Cancer is also, to a certain extent, considered to be a spiritual sign. The 3 water signs are considered to be spiritual, but Pisces is the most. Cancer is more of intuition, motherly intuition. I have Moon and Mars in the sign of Cancer. My Moon nakshatra is Pushya. I have strong influence of Revati nakshatra, which is all about communication. My Venus and Mercury is in Revati nakshatra, which is the last nakshatra. And Revati nakshatra is known to bring both spiritual wealth and materialistic wealth. And I have been blessed with both. My Sun and Ketu are in Uttara Bhadrapada nakshatra. And this makes a person a mystic with a lot of yogic powers. Because in all the 27 nakshatras, it is believed that Uttara Bhadrapada, which is the 26th nakshatra, brings in the most yogic powers. My Jupiter is in Mrikshira nakshatra, which makes me seek, because Mrikshira is all about seeking. So with this understanding of my birth chart, one can understand that I was born with very spiritual energies already. And when the time was right, these became activated. You see, from childhood, I was always service-oriented. I loved to help. I did ponder over existential questions many a times. But then, because I got so busy with my studies and with my career, that there was no time to ponder over these questions. And so they were put on the back burner. And like everyone else, I was just caught up in the rat race of the world. Until 2015, all that I had to do was close my eyes. Trust me, in my case, all that I had to do was close my eyes and be still. and then rest, everything just followed one after the other. So this has been my journey. Quickly now, briefly, I will tell you what all I have pursued over the 6 years and who are the gurus whose teachings have helped me most and have inspired me. So I first did hypnotherapy course, all levels. It was very intense. I have done what is called as radical affirmation therapy, which is all about affirmations and understanding the chakras, energy in the body. With these two, I went in depth in understanding how thoughts control our reality, and that mind really does not exist. Because these therapies, they emphasize a lot on mind and thoughts. But then as I progressed further, I realized that these teachings are also a trap. They keep you trapped within your thoughts. You don't come out of them. You have to transcend the thoughts also. But these were stepping stones, and I'm grateful to the teachers who gave me the knowledge. Because until you don't have the baseline knowledge, you cannot understand the higher truths. Then I did Reiki, all the levels, to understand energy healing. Though I never used the symbols because I never had a need for them. At will, I can connect with anyone across distances through intention alone, and it works very well, and I feel comfortable that way. If you're into Reiki, you know that level 2 onwards, you're supposed to use symbols, but I do not use any symbols. In fact, I have even forgotten about those symbols. Then I pursued pranic healing, all levels, up to Arhatic yoga, and it was good. I learned in pranic healing, but then I realized that pranic healing is also complex, and there are easier ways to work on your energy body. I did RYT 200 yoga course. It's a teacher trainer course in which I officially gained all the knowledge about asanas, pranayam, and things like that. The yoga courses nowadays, they teach superficial aspects only of asana and pranayam. They do not teach spiritual aspects. Though I was lucky that the course I did, I had a teacher Satya sir, he's a very nice person. He was there for a week and he gave us some knowledge, and he talked about some of the few Patanjali sutras also. So he gave me an understanding that yoga is not about asana and pranayam, but it is deep spiritual knowledge. And he guided me into reading the classical textbooks, which I explored and learned so much more. So I have learned yoga, Ashtanga, Hatha yoga from a spiritual perspective, not from just the superficial asana and pranayam. Kriya yoga techniques I have known on my own. Nobody has taught me. Then I did entire Vedic astrology because I wanted to understand about free will, karma, destiny. And that also I completed learning, and I have stopped. I do not wish to learn Vedic astrology anymore. I do not wish to practice it professionally either. And so I haven't done any professional consultations, and I wouldn't do it also going forward. I only see a person's birth chart to understand if they have a spiritual inclination. If they truly have a spiritual inclination, and if I need to see that, then I ask for birth details. Otherwise, I do not. None of the things I have learned over the years, and I have spent considerable amount of money, time, effort. I have traveled while juggling with my work and my personal life. I've acquired so much of knowledge and wisdom, but I'm not going to use it for professional reasons. I'm not going to use it for making money, and I'm not going to charge anyone for imparting all the knowledge and wisdom that I have to give to others. My services, or my teachings rather, are always going to be free. The only Guru Dakshina that I expect is your dedication, your devotion towards your own self, and that you be a good person, be a kind, helpful person, and be good wherever you can, and spread goodness in the world. That is the best form of dakshina that you can give me. As far as the Gurus are concerned, I haven't seen Mahavatar Babaji with my eyes as of now. Will I see him in the future? I do not know. Maybe. I believe I will have to travel to Ranikhet for that. But I do receive guidance from him. I have had very palpable connection with him. I've felt it also at times. There is definitely a divine power like Babaji guiding me. Otherwise, it wouldn't be possible for me to know these Kriya techniques. And I realized that I was already very advanced. Nobody had to teach me even. Few of the people to whom I shared what all I can do, they have been stunned. How it was possible for me to do this without being taught. So this is an evidence that I am being taught by invisible Guru. And in time to come, I will teach all of that to whoever is ready to receive it. I believe that Mahavatar Babaji is not an entity confined in a physical body. He is, or I wouldn't attribute a gender, because Babaji is beyond gender. This entity is androgynous in nature. It means it is genderless. It is an expanded consciousness, highly developed, advanced consciousness. Babaji is a frequency, is a very highly evolved frequency. And when you tap into this high frequency, like you tap into a radio channel, you get the wisdom and the knowledge that you're seeking. This is what Babaji is. I believe that perhaps Lahiri Mahasaya, when he saw Babaji in the physical form, the frequency got manifested in that physical form. All the people who claim to have seen Babaji, maybe this is the way they perceive, because Yogananda is the first one to show us how Babaji appeared to him. So Babaji is a frequency, and anyone can tap into that frequency. But you have to also reach that frequency, right? You have to tune into that frequency. And for this, you have to purify your physical body, your energy body, your thoughts, because it's a high frequency. So you have to reach that level. And I did not get the Kriya techniques until much later. It didn't come to me right away. For a long time, I kept doing yoga, asanas, pranayam, mantra japa, reading scriptures, consciously working on my emotions. And throughout this time, so much kept happening parallelly in my life. I wasn't completely dedicated only to sadhana, even though I would have loved to. There were a lot of family issues which are coming. It's only recently that the family issues have settled, and then COVID happened. So this was about Babaji. And I'm highly influenced by the teaching of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. I was always influenced by his teaching right from the start. Even though I did not understand them in the beginning, I would continue to read. And I knew that Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's frequency is also very high frequency. He was a great guru. When I traveled to Tiruvannamalai, I experienced amazing, beautiful miracles. And I've never experienced so many miracles in such a short span of time. was literally like Bhagavan was there. He was looking, he was watching over me. In another video or audio, I will share my experiences that I had in Tiruvannamalai, or this audio will get even longer. So this was a very important audio for me to share with you all so that you get an understanding of my journey and what I have to teach you. You need to know, if you are taking someone as a guru, you need to know what that guru is all about. It is your right to know, and then you decide accordingly. There is no compulsion for you to follow me. But once you take me as a guru, then you have to have that respect. You have to have that dedication and the devotion towards the teachings that I will be giving. I will not be giving my teachings to those who are politically inclined. I have done that, and I've realized that politics is a very low frequency, and it is polluting to your consciousness. If you are not into active politics, then there is no reason for you to be politically inclined. In my opinion, if you are, then please do not come to seek spiritual knowledge from me. If you're a grahastha, it's absolutely fine. If you're doing your own regular work, it's absolutely fine. But you have to be dedicated. I do not expect you to indulge in unnecessary distractions, which pollutes your frequency, which pollutes your consciousness, which brings down your frequency and pollutes your consciousness. If you indulge in any of that, I will know. Sooner or later, I will realize, and then I will pull you out of the group. So be careful. I do not get fooled by comments, by praises, and by tall claims. I read energy, I read vibes, I feel. I've stopped thinking long back ago. I do not use the mind. I feel. And feeling is way more powerful than thinking. Those who wish to follow me, to accept me as their guru, can call me Meetrani or Guruma. Okay? You don't have to call me Dr. Sofiya. You don't have to call me Sofiya ma'am. If you wish to, it's absolutely fine, because I believe that a name is just a way to address someone. But let there be respect. Not respect to Sofiya. No. Respect to the role that I'm playing. It is not respect to, I am beyond this role also. I am not Sofiya. I am not this body. I'm not this identity. When I ask you to show respect, it is to show respect to the guru who will play the role through me as the channel. Okay? So you have to show respect to that. That's all for now. I think I have shared enough. This was long pending. This is also just a summary of what has actually happened. There are many, many experiences which have happened over the years. As and when needed, I will share them, or probably they will be all compiled in a book form. Whatever guidance I receive from the higher source, I shall share with you accordingly. I shall begin teaching all about energy, body, chakras, nadis, how your thoughts and emotions controls your life, how each chakra is connected with some aspect of your life. And then I'll be teaching all about asanas, pranayam, powerful meditations, spiritual knowledge, and wisdom I'll be sharing with you time and again. It will be done in the form of audio, video whenever needed, written form. It will be in all different ways. This information is for your growth. It's for your ascension. Please do not misuse it. It is shared freely. Respect it. Do not use it and compile it into a book and make money out of it. You will incur very bad karma. I will not restrict you from doing that, but if you did that, you will incur very bad karma. Know that. Okay? So that's all about my journey and about the Guru who you think you should follow. Thank you so much for listening. Wish you all the best, whether you stay in the group or not. I expect you to be a sincere seeker if you wish to stay. Okay? And I will give you all the guidance that I can. Take care, all of you. Namaskar.